National Championship runoffs here for the SCCA. This is at Road America. This is an exciting day of one of 29 events to take place to crown a national champion in the Olympics of amateur road racing. I'm Jim Trado along with Dorsey Schrader. And Dorsey, we've got a production class on track now, T2. That's going to be pretty exciting. A lot of muscle out on this racetrack.
Yeah, you're not kidding. There are 24 cars will take the green today, and they're very, very competitive. Top 9 of these cars qualified within the same second. This should be a great race.
And the suspects up front should be the ones to watch. Andy Wolverton won this race 2 years ago. Marty Grant nearly won this race a year ago. So as we look at this, there's a lot of storylines to share with you on this race.
No doubt about that. Andy Wolverton already won once here this year, the June sprints. So that's a notch under his belt. These are Touring 2 cars, as we said. You see right there, 2009 champion is Don Knowles. He's back in the pack. He didn't run much this year. In fact, comes here on his champion provisional, but he thinks he's got the car to win again.
High-performance sedans is what I like to underline and highlight and star on this one, because these guys are really going to be put it to the test, and I think the bottom-end horsepower is going to play an advantage here for some.
Oh, they're definitely. Road America with these long straightaways, you definitely need horsepower. Some of these cars are turbocharged, and they'll be liking this cool day, too.
DOT tires, that means they are available in the showrooms. These are not racing spec tires here, so that should be an interesting thing how they play out and how these cars manage, and some are four-wheel drive, some are two, and front and rear drive. It's going to be fun to watch. T2, Andy Wolverton, we mentioned, from Papillion, Nebraska. That's NE, Nebraska, not Northeast. I'm just getting my initials right here. Good morning to you as well. Andy Wolverton is on the pole. Marty Grant starts outside of row number 1 in the number 4 Mitsubishi Evo, so that's going to be interesting to watch how they match up. Speed's very, very similar. Jason Ott starts third in the number 2, the Bimmerhaus Hoosier Dead Fast Racing BMW Z4 Coupe. As you see the cars roll by, 24 will take the green flag here in T2 at the runoffs. Mark Bowden starts in the 4th position, outside row number 2, one of the Fall Line Motorsports entries, the BMW M3. Don Knowles, last year's champion, starts 5th. Starting 6th is David Brand, the number 38 machine. Brian Kleeman from Baltimore, Maryland, starts in the 7th position. He's joined by the reigning national points champion for 2010, Cooper McNeil, out of Hinsdale, Illinois, racing out of the Central Division in the 8th position in the 76 BMW M3, sponsored by WeatherTech.com. This is the formation lap. What they'll do is they'll bring all the cars down, get them off grid, get everybody fired up, get the temps up, and you can see some weaving going on here. This is kind of an interesting situation where these guys really have to get it right for the start.
Looks like the pace car could just stay out there and race with these guys. It's the same type of car. Showroom stock like they are, most of these cars have only safety equipment additions to them, which are mandatory.
And we'll be able to see the scoring of each and every competitor across the top of your screen here on the SpeedcastTV.com coverage of the SCCA National Championships here at Road America. Second year here at Road America. Interesting storylines throughout. As we mentioned, Don Knowles winning in a Solstice last year, brings that same car back this year. And what a heartbreak for Marty Grant, who I think wants to get out to an early start and pay off with a great finish here on his way to victory a year ago. Cut short by a mechanical issue very, very late in the going. I like that Hot Wheels paint job on that one, actually. I think I want to pick that my favorite out. If my son was here, he'd be like, Dad, let's watch that car. But that is indeed the number 3. William Moore starting back in 16th out of Chagrin Falls, Ohio. Again, racers from across the nation putting it to test here in T2 at Road America, up the hill for their first event on day 2 of the SCCA National Championship runoffs at Road America.
A lot of talent up there, those top 5 guys, past champions, present champions included.
Andy Wolverton bringing him to a steady pace here. Marty Grant is in that higher statured Mitsubishi Eclipse Evo, and here we go, Mitsubishi Evolution, And look at that, Marty Grant, you mentioned maybe on the start, as we talked before we got on the air here, Dorsey, about how that four-wheel drive machine of Marty Grant on the outside to your right here may have an advantage on the restarts.
It always gets a good jump there. One surprising thing was the third-place car, Jason Ott, the BMW, and third really lagged back at the start. I don't know if he thinks he's got a performance advantage there. Certainly closed that gap.
All safely through turn 1. Let's go around this racetrack for the first time today, Dorsey. This is a hard, high-speed turn in turn 3 here.
Turn 3, bottom of the hill, hard braking, good overtaking position, but really need to be clean as you come onto this long back straightaway. It's second longest straightaway out here, and it leads downhill all the way into turn 5, which is probably, I think, the best place for an out-braking maneuver.
The unique characteristics of Road America, this is probably one of the fastest straightaways on the course, and it leads down to the slowest corner.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You're coming from all the way top speed and getting all the way down into second, sometimes even first gear, side by side, the Fall Line BMW.
There's Don Knowles in that number 35 machine, that all-red car. He started in the 5th position, now trying to grab the 5th here.
This is turn 6 rather, a very tricky corner. You turn in and everything's good, and on the exit you see the car's having trouble staying to the racetrack because it falls off camber.
And that's turn 7 now down, and this is Hurry Downs, the portion of the racetrack that Cliff Tufty, 1955, carved out of a quarry in the surrounding farmlands here in Road America. It certainly has made plenty of famous racers a little more famous as these drivers all want to put their name on the books as a winner of the runoffs and a winner here at Road America.
This is the carousel, and this is a 180-degree corner that falls off elevation. You see it going downhill all the way through. Very fast corner. Not as fast as this next one. They call it the kink, and boy, can it eat cars. You get it wrong here. Whoa.
Marty Grand in that Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution leading this field on lap number 1. We see that Beamer Coupe got into second there. That's Jason Ott passing the pole sitter Andy Wolverton on this opening circuit.
Pretty cool morning we have going right now, so these tires are definitely not up to temperature yet. They're not as sensitive as a full-on slick racing tire. Like you said, they're DOT tires, so they actually like the cooler temps better. Oh, good scuffle here going up under where the Bill Mitchell Bridge used to be. Now it's just a Bill Mitchell bend. The bridge is gone.
And you might have thought it's Bill Mitchell, the general that was in the Army that the Milwaukee Airport's named after. But Bill Mitchell was very much a proponent and supporter of racing here in the original days of the impetus of really the origins of Road America, is what I'm trying to say. So Bill Mitchell, a gentleman who was very much involved with Cliff Tufty designing this course, has got a corner named after him. Kind of cool, kind of historic.
Jason Ott in the second place BMW right there hit something as he came up the front straightaway out of turn 14, went up underneath the car and threw it up in the, I don't know what it was.
Well, this being the first race of the day, there were some recon laps this morning, so perhaps something, that's for the guys who have to get something right on their car that are racing later in the day, and perhaps something did go awry with something on the track he bumped over. Hope it's nothing major.
Well, I noticed at the beginning of the race that he laid back in that second row and forced about a 3-car length gap, so I think that he feels that he's probably got more top end out of that BMW, and he wanted to use that into turn 1.
And Dorsey, some of the momentum classes we've seen that the top 4 or 5 want to break away, and then it becomes a 3-car race. There's 7 cars right now, followed by 4 more in this T2 race. Is this what you expect in the race?
I really did. With the talent level of driving that you have in that top group, all these guys are past champions. They know how to get the job done. You can see the cars are a little bit different on where they have their speed or where they gain their speed.
That is the pole sitter Andy Wolverton, who gave up 3rd position. Mark Bowden here in that blue and white Beamer now into the 4th position, dropping the 86 of our pole sitter Wolverton back to 4th, And that's a tight battle. That little yellow Lotus in the mix is David Brand, the number 38 out of Muttontown, New York. A
relatively new car there. You see the red Solstice, Pontiac Solstice, Don Knowles, multiple national champion. Talking with him earlier yesterday, he was telling me that he thought probably Bowden's BMW might be the most balanced car out there. If it gets into a handling war, he thinks that the BMW could be really good.
And again, that's the Lotus, the number 38 machine of David Brand. Behind him is Don Knowles in that red 35, the defending class winner, 5-time national champion. Don Knowles in that Pontiac Solstice, prepared by Phoenix Performance. There is the number 45 machine of Mark Warden. That's the car that the champ was worried about, and he's now making a move here, or is Wolverton trying to make a move here through the kink?
I think Wolverton got a better run through the kink, now runs side by side down this back straight, which isn't straight, by the way. He's got a pretty good amount of cornering going on in there.
This is your race leader, Marty Grand, out of Manassas Park, Virginia, leading a very close run by Jason Ott of Thornton, Colorado. Ott in the Beamer, trying to crash down that 4-wheel drive machine that, again, Marty Grand led a ton of laps last year, had a wheel physically break off his car while leading. What a heartbreak for him.
Absolutely a heartbreak, no doubt about it. If it gets slippery, of course, that all-wheel drive has huge advantage here. It's cold out this morning, but we haven't had any rain.
There you go. I know what you meant.
There you go.
Up the hill again. These are each 13-lap contests here on this 4-mile road course at Road America to determine a national champion in 29 different classes. Some of the classes are combined, but on track right now is all known as T2. And I bring that up because in the June sprints, the next biggest road racing amateur conglomeration of the year, there are multiple classes running together. So T1, T2, T3 might even be running together.
Don Knowles trying to have a look right there. Oh, Bowden really gets wide and makes a pass around the outside of the Lotus.
I just got to laugh at the courage there. Man,
I thought he was out of control there, but he made that work. That was actually not Bowden. That was McNeil, the other BMW.
Oh, okay.
Bowden up in front there. But that was a wild pass. I don't know if it was intended to be a pass or it just had nowhere to go with all that speed.
Well, you let it free, Dorsey. As you know, if you let it free and it wants to go there, you let it go, right?
I thought he was headed off the track, but it worked out for the best.
Resetting the field for you, down into turn 5, it is Marty Grand leading. Jason out in that BMW. Then Mark Bowden moves nicely into 3rd. Again, he was under contest there, under contention for that position by the pole sitter, Andy Wolverton, who now runs 4th. Don Knowles now moving into 5th. So he got by a couple of cars there. He's back to 6th. Now he's up into the 5th position here.
Here's a Oh, that was going to be a late pass attempt. If that was, they went into turn 6 up there side by side. Only one was going to come back out.
And that's McNeil in the 76 machine. That is Cooper McNeil, the points champion for 2010 in the BMW M3. There he is in frame right behind the Lotus and looking through these corners. They're very clean. Later in the race, we're going to see some guys dropping off because these tires might fall off a little bit.
Yeah, you'll see it getting more aggressive. Too. Everybody's posturing right now and seeing what everyone else has. Everybody, has talked all weekend long about they knew that the Evo was going to be quick with the four-wheel drive. They knew it would launch good and it was going to run well. They also thought that the Bowden's BMW M3 was going to be a factor. There's Don Knowles getting pretty loose on the exit of the kink there.
Don Knowles in that red machine in the 5th spot. That's the lead pack. That's how tight things remain here in T2 as we're on the 3rd circuit of 13. Look at this, Jason Ott now posturing a bit here through the kink.
Yeah, he was having a notion of making a pass there, but got a much better run off. There was contact there.
Absolutely. You can see the rear bumper cover on the leader's machine. Marty Grand certainly got a punch by Jason Ott. That car did not have power off the corner.
No, Marty missed a gear or something, and the car didn't accelerate. Now Ott looks to the inside.
Look at that swarm behind him here. This is for the lead up the hill off of turn 14, up the front straightaway.
Big slide off that corner for the all-wheel drive car. I wonder if its tires are starting to give up a little bit. Something happened down the Canada corner. Either he missed a gear or anyway, like you say, he didn't accelerate as he come off the corner and got tagged pretty hard. Not intentional. That was just something went wrong.
And Ott's going to go around that little parachute on the backside of Marty Grant's car on this long straightaway. May play a factor here. That rear bumper cover shaking loose from that incident in the Canada corner.
That is going to hurt him pretty bad as far as aero up the straightaway. Stick your hand out the window when you're doing 55 or 65 miles an hour. These guys are doing 130 miles an hour, and look at how big that is on both sides of the car. Big air brake.
Jason Ott, who finished 2nd here last year, has now taken the lead away in the BMW Z4M Coupe, the Bimmerhaus Hoosier Dead Fast Racing machine. 2nd in the Rocky Mountain division.
Yeah, for
He's our race leader.
Andy Wolverton's not going to like the length of these straightaways with that bumper cover. All he can hope now is somebody comes up and knocks it the rest of the way off or it flies off.
Does a favor for him if they can get to him, because Marty Grant's been awfully fast here all week at Road America. We say all week because the cars rolled in. They got track time on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and 3 of those 4 days they were out in qualifying mode, and their best time determined our starting lineup, so we could really kind of gauge those speeds throughout. And the first day was a lot of good times for a lot of guys.
Look at Don Knowles' right front, or look at his front rotors. His brake temperatures are extremely high. You can see and we're in broad daylight. You can see the rotors just really cherry red on that red Solstice.
A couple of factors to bring up. Don Knowles won this race last year. Look at that. He has the exemption of not having to, he has a provisional. No matter what he does all year long, can finish last in every race. He didn't run any races. He was also out this morning, Dorsey, and I asked you as we were getting ready for this race broadcast, does it mean anything that Don may be taking a couple of laps out here this morning? Because that's usually when the guys are saying, what else do we need to change last minute? And it's right before his race.
Yeah, he knows his car so well, and there's so limited changes that you can do. Something just got run over back there again.
I think he's losing more of the bumper cover. It's kind of shredding itself under speed.
Yeah, that definitely was off Wolverton's car. And he would like to lose all that bumper cover, like right now.
Marty Grand is the Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution running in 2nd now being pressured by Bowden. Bowden in the 45. We see the bumper cover was kind of attached. Now it's kind of in pieces and hanging there by a couple of bolts and a couple of plastic snaps. So, yeah, you're right. The guy in 2nd place right here, Marty Grand, he's almost a hazard for the guys behind him because that stuff flying off of there, who knows what will happen. And Mark Bowden wants nothing to do with that. And that white Beamer, he's going to try to get around him here.
In the meantime, Jason Ott is setting sail on his BMW. He's starting to really pull a gap on the 2nd place Bowden, which I think is, 2nd place Wolverton, which I think is holding up this next group.
Jason Ott comes across the line to complete lap number 4, begin lap number 5. This is the battle for 3rd. Mark Bowden in that white 45. Pole sitter Andy Wolverton in the black Solstice. That's the number 86 machine. Then comes Don Knowles. We noticed the right front brake rotor cherry red on that car. Will the brake start to fade, or will it lock up when it's that hot, Dorsey?
Well, it's showing you for sure that Don's really driving hard into those corners, and it's got a lot of front brake bias on the car, so you're not seeing the back ones being so hot. But boy, I tell you, you got to back away from that. You'll feel the pedals start to get really hard, and the car not stopping as much as you wish it would.
Marty Grant almost got his wish there. He went in the corner in turn 3 and nearly had contact from behind by Mark Bowden in the number 45. As he went wide, Bowden burped the gas, and here comes Don Knowles up the middle in that red 35.
Should be interesting in the brake zone in 5 with all these guys posturing right now.
Race leader Jason Ott clear of this. Right behind them, Marty Grant, and now it's 3 wide, fanning out into turn number 5.
Kind of knew that was going to happen.
Just a matter of when, not if. Andy Wolverton now runs into the 3rd position. Mark Bowden is in 4th.
Everybody driving really clean. You see the cars are right on the edge, but, you know, there's a couple of incidents already where they could have hit side to side, and everybody's kept it clean. Still early in this race.
And we're starting to see that wheel drop now. These guys are really stressing the limits now of these cars. Tires are at full temp, and I'm thinking the pressure's getting there because it's now almost halfway through this one.
Yeah, at some point you have to start making things happen and getting a little bit more aggressive.
Andy Wolverton dominated the June sprints this past June. Again, that's a large race, one of the key races in the SCCA all season long. Large turnout of competitors, and that happens every June. And that had been part of the Triple Crown, but now there's a super sweep available for any of the division champions. Wolverton winning his championship in the Midwest division with 3 wins on the season. And a win here at the June sprints was a highlight, of course, of his. And this is a non-points race, but it is about winning a national championship, and not too many guys can say that. Only 29 guys will walk home with that title after this weekend.
Right, Marty Grant's still holding on real good, you know, just second place. He's got that whole pack behind him, and that bumper cover's not doing him any favors at these straightaways.
Jason Ott, because of that, has a nice little lead here in that BMW M4. Ott started in the 3rd position. Put the into lead after the contact, and it was really incidental contact. Marty Grant off a Canada corner. Just was not at full song. Would you expect to be a high-speed exit of the turn?
Yeah, and I really think...
Whoa, that's a race leader going off here, pushing the limits, shall we say.
Yeah, I think he just missed his upshift and caused that little backup, and, of course, that contact. Luckily for both cars, they're not hurt bad enough to really do anything. That bumper cover is a little bit of a pain.
Well, they're straightening out just a little bit. It's Jason Ott over Marty Grant, Andy Wolverton, Mark Bowden, Don Knowles, and creeping into the picture, National Points champion Cooper McNeil in the 6th position. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back with more action here at T2 at the 2010 SCCA National Championship Runoffs presented by Subway. Stay tuned.
The 2010 SCCA National Championship Runoffs presented by Subway is brought to you by Mazda, Black Magic Car Care Products, and Gumout.
Forget the rock. Let's roll. Follow your inner driver to the all-new 2011 Mazda 2. It's Zoom Zoom. Concentrated.
Kid, where you been?
Just got back from an SCCA event.
Really?
Yeah, SCCA has more than 2,000 events every year.
Serious?
Go to SCCA.com and find people in your area that drive fast and get their hands dirty. And you don't have to be a supercar to compete.
So I go to SCCA.com, sign up, and I can start competing?
It's that easy.
And welcome back to the 2010 SCCA National Championship Runoffs hotly contested T2 event here. There's our race leader in turn number 5, Jason Ott in that silver BMW. 1 year ago, Marty Grant lost that wheel, but right behind him was Jason Ott.
Wow, that's a slippery corner right there. Now we've seen 2 of the cars with big four-wheel slides.
Absolutely. Look at that.
Oh, boy, I think the rear tire is a pace.
Yep, that's why there's no more parachute to worry about.
Yep,
there's no more parachute.
Gone. It's gone. So he's got his speed back.
There you go. He's found his speed. Hey, what happened? I don't know.
Got rid of the parachute.
There you go.
Jason Ott's car's really loose. The last couple corners, the back end really on the BMW, just really sliding. You see the front brake rotor, really hot again. These guys are really using up all their race cars.
So the right front brake rotors, if I have my numbers right, when it's that glowing red, it's over 1,200, maybe even 1,400 degrees. Is that going to help the tire or hurt the tire with the bead if it's that hot?
Well, these beads don't usually, you don't have a problem too much on them, but those brake temperatures certainly will give you that real hard brake pedal. One of the cars off to the course there on the right. Dan Spyrick, another one of the BMWs, looks like mechanical. He's pulled off in a safe area.
Parker, Colorado racer, started in the 24th position, and his race ends early here. Just 13 laps to decide the national champion through the kink here. An exciting run for these racers. Again, Don Knowles, the defending series champion, did not race at all this year, had the champion's provisional, and is in the mix here, but he's watching Jason Ott being followed by Marty Grant.
Pretty good show right there. Both those cars, I think, you can run these tires to where they get too hot and you start sliding around. If you back off that pace, if you just slow, there's another good slide there. If you back it down just a little bit, the tire temperature will come back right down and you can go back and attack again. But right now, the top 2 cars running absolutely 10/10ths.
I'd say maybe even 11 or 12 here as they go up the hill. This, again, the final corner before the long straightaway. And really, that run that he had in the dirt cost him right here because Grant is able to close up here in that Mitsubishi.
Yeah, Grant, much better run off the corner. Is going to give more top end up here at the far end of the straightaway. He's not going to have the inside to go for. He's going to have to try the outside pass.
He touched the brakes there. You think he was kind of waiting for Jason Ott to decide if he's going to come off the inside of the rail?
Yeah, that's not really a block. You see, I mean, he made one move. He moved to the inside. It wasn't weaving back and forth. There we go.
Down into turn number 3. Marty Grand moves that four-wheel drive Mitsubishi back in control of this event, and this is where the wheel fell off last year.
Don't say it.
I'm just saying, Jason Ott went in the grass to the left about 100 feet at 150 miles an hour, it seemed like. Made it back on the racetrack, but that let Don Knowles past, and he went on to victory. On lap 10, things all broke loose a year ago. I'm thinking Jason Ott's trying to do everything he can.
And that whole pass was set up all the way back in turn 14 when Jason dropped the wheels off the racetrack and lost momentum.
And this racetrack, I've talked to a couple of drivers, and Bart Wolf, who does commentary with Greg Creamer on these shows as well, was talking about how the momentum, he kind of divides this racetrack in half.
Yeah,
back half, front half.
And they're totally different, too. I mean, the front part of this racetrack is all high-speed stuff, long straightaway. Turn 1's really quick, turn 2's really quick. You know, the more technical part is right here, where you get back in the turn 5, 6, 7, 8 area, where handling comes in.
We'll be covering Bart Wolf's Sports 2000 race later on this afternoon. Again, he's part of our commentary team here on the SpeedcastTV.com coverage. And, boy, Marty Grand now has broken out into a 4, 5, 6 length gap here. This is a big lead compared to what we had earlier.
It's a lot bigger lead than what we had, and I think Jason Ott has run the rear tires off the BMW. He's really getting loose now. See it right there, four-wheel drifting through the carousel. That puts a lot of heat in the tires. There's nothing really. It's a death spiral. There's nothing you can do. Once it gets loose, it just keeps getting looser and looser. Tire temperatures build.
Well, if he does happen to slip back, Mark Bowden's right there, the GT2 class winner from a year ago, and he's running in the 3rd position there in that BMW.
And then Don Knowles right behind him in the Pontiac Solstice. Can't count them out either.
And Cooper McNeil started in the 8th position. He's now up into the 5th position.
Yeah,
Cooper out of Hinsdale, Illinois, the WeatherTech.com, BMW M3.
I think the 1st and 2nd place cars now have run so hard racing each other that they both have having to back down to get the tire temperatures back down. As a result of that, Mark Bowden and Don Knowles are going to be right there with them before this lap's up.
Bryce and Marty Grand now leading down into Canada corner here. Look at how these guys are working it. Don Knowles, the defending race winner. We mentioned how his brakes were glowing red early. Perhaps he maybe backed off the pace, and he has this is a 13-lap race. It seems like a sprint race, but in reality, at 4 miles a lap, this is a duration event for these club racers.
You run these races in stages where you push really, really hard for 2 or 3 laps, and if you can't make something happen, then you go back to a little bit more conservative setup. Here, this isn't
unless you're these guys.
These are not in that setup. These are guys racing.
That's the battle for the 10th position now. Currently held for the next 5 seconds by the number 87 of Bill Steinhoff.
Yeah, look at this draft going up. This is smart, good drafting, long straightaways.
Wow, what a tussle here.
That little bump draft in there almost.
And that's Kleeman in the 88. In that 2003 Nissan, Brian Kleeman in the 88 now trying to make a position here on the inside. And he'll hold them off on the top end speed. Wow, that I thought would be a lot worse going into turn 1 than single file.
I think they thought it would too. They backed away.
Coming down now into turn number 3, a sweeping right-hand corner.
This is a corner where you really can set up, to get a good exit off that corner and carry the momentum down this straightaway, and then do your out-brake maneuver down into turn 5, a much better area. And it's a pretty safe area from the standpoint on the other side of turn 5. If you miss the corner, there's a big runoff area where you don't have to worry about a crash necessarily.
And here they come running down the hill once again into turn 5. We see an inside posture here.
Not quite close enough. That one is.
Wow, that's the 22 machine of Timothy Hund. Hund in the mix here.
That was a pretty late maneuver right there. This is going to be interesting underneath the bridge.
Side by side again. Can he make the corner? Yes, Hund can make it. Drops the 32 machine back 1 spot. That's interesting to see that move right there. I mean, we haven't seen a lot of passing in 6, but Alan Kossoff got the worst end of that deal.
And he had a good enough run that he made that pass clear of the corner. So he got into the corner. It really didn't hurt him. I was a little bit concerned of not having the car slow down enough, like right there.
Chris Von Sydow is the car that's leading this pack. That BMW ahead of the field.
A little four-wheel drift action going through the carousel here.
That last car in line, we see that the 33 machine of Todd Naparalski, that Chevy Camaro Z28, a whole different exit to the carousel there. He's not nearly as freewheeling.
Absolutely. Go back on the leaders, and you can see lead is getting away from second place. Is now a 3-car battle.
And this won't hurt him as much with that little dip off the left side. Marty Grand, the race leader, heading up the hill with this advantage here.
Plus, he's got all-wheel drive, so he's got the other 3 pulling.
9 laps complete here out of 13 in the T2 Touring 2 division. There's Don Knowles, last year's champ, running in the 4th position in that red Solstice.
Yeah, that is going to be a good battle for second place right there.
3 cars here. Jason Ott had the lead early. Marty Grant lost the rear bumper after incidental contact. The bumper cover came off, and Marty Grant's car came back to life.
Bowden's BMW a little bit loose there. You see on the exit of the corner, Don Knowles trying to take advantage of that slide.
Bowden's in the middle of this sandwich here. He's the meat right there in the 45, the fall line Beamer.
Don drops 2 wheels, uses all the road he can there, try to get the momentum off the straightaway. And he's thinking about it.
Yeah, he's not just following tire tracks here. He's studying where he can pounce going into turn number 5. We'll see if Knowles can do that.
He, in fact, has just sat over to the inside there, but he didn't have enough top end. You could see the BMW definitely pulled away from him.
This is 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Coming up the hill up to turn number 6, a blind left-hander, the race leader. This is Marty Grant, and look at the advantage he has now into this corner.
Yeah, Marty Grant is just enough up front there that the pressure's off him. In this race for second, the pressure's on all 3 of these guys, so usually that does slow you up to some degree.
And Marty Grant again kicking up a little bit of dust, but you mentioned the four-wheel drive has its benefits here.
Definitely. Oh, that would have been a late maneuver there.
You mentioned Ott's tires are going away. As a competitor, if you're Mark Bowden right here, can you kind of feel that? Can you kind of tell that?
Yeah, you can definitely feel that as the car's tires start to go away, it starts slipping and sliding a little bit more. You got to tuck it back in, drive a little bit more, just a little cleaner, and let the tire temperature come back down. Bowden trying really hard.
Certainly on the gas here. Mark Bowden in the middle of this picture here, running in the 3rd position. Trying to get position on Jason Ott, and if he does, guess what? Don Knowles will be right there with him in that red machine.
Yeah, Don's playing the cat right now. He's sitting back here watching all this going on in front of him, and if anything goes wrong, even the littlest bit, he will pounce. Pressure's off the leader. Like I said, this battle for second is pretty intense.
And again, Mark Bowden posturing here through the kink up to the Billy Mitchell bend. 2nd, 3rd, and 4th under contest here. We're going to take a break, sneak away, and we'll come back with the finish of T2 here at the 2010 SCCA National Championship Runoffs presented by Subway. Stick with us.
The 2010 SCCA National Championship Runoffs presented by Subway is brought to you by Mazda, Black Magic Car Care Products, and Gum Out.
Forget the rock. Let's roll. Follow your inner driver to the all-new 2011 Mazda 2. It's Zoom Zoom. Concentrated.
Kid, where you been?
Just got back from an SCCA event.
Really?
Yeah, SCCA has more than 2,000 events every year.
Serious?
Go to SCCA.com and find people in your area that drive fast and get their hands dirty. And you don't have to be a supercar to compete.
So I go to SCCA.com, sign up, and I can start competing?
It's that easy.
And it's all come down to this, the T2 National Championship on the line, a race for pride and 3 medals, the gold, the silver, and the bronze. Right now, Marty Grant has the gold in hand if he can hang on for these final 2.5 laps. And here is the battle for second. It's changed quite a bit since we last saw this race.
And it's changing as we speak, too, because these guys are at full war now. Look at this, 3 wide attempt going down into turn 8.
Jason Ott got passed both by Bowden and the 35 of Don Knowles entering turn 1. He's back here in 4th position now.
We saw Knowles back there ready to pounce if something should happen, and obviously it did.
Cooper McNeil has joined this 4-car battle now for what is hotly contested for second in the Black Magic Touring 2 National Championship race.
2-car battle it turns into for the time being.
Because Knowles, he's not waiting around anymore, is he?
Oh, this is for the kink. He gives it up, wisely gives it up, and will follow Bowden. I think Bowden's car, Knowles with a great, now he loses it. He loses it and crashes on the back straight.
Don Knowles dips the left in the kink, and on the right-hand side gets the nose in that Pontiac Solstice. We mentioned 10/10ths. He was above the line there. Man, what a rough break for our defending race winner, Don Knowles.
I thought he had it saved, but just ran out of luck there, and unfortunately took himself out of the mix.
Matter of inches. The left's just dipped off. It looks like he might have caught the track coming back on, and it hooked him, and around he went.
And that's the kink we talk about all the time. It's just one of those race corners that there's no margin of error. Here's Don. He'll make it back to the pits on his own way. That's good for him, but that race is over for him today.
You'll have to wait for 2011's National Championship Runoffs to win here in T2. As he is out of it, he's heading back to the pit area. Thankfully, the car is able to drive away from that incident. Hard impact, nosing into the wall in the kink. This is the battle for second. Jason Ott in that silver Beamer. Make that third, as Mark Bowden is broken away quickly here.
Yeah, Bowden got a little bit of a jump, but these two guys are battling for the third place position.
Don Knowles getting that spin. Those guys burped the gas.
Yeah,
let Bowden get away.
Had to leave a little room. Now the battle's on, but they might be able to catch back up.
Cooper McNeil looking to the inside in 3 here, making a nice pass on Jason Ott. So perhaps he was laying back a little bit as Ott was really pushing the limit as the race leader. And as we say that, they might be side by side again. This is crazy racing in T2.
Well, we saw Jason Ott's BMW starting to get loose earlier on, and so it could be a tire issue. Now we're going to have a side-by-side braking contest down in turn 5.
McNeil qualified just 8th quickest here as the national points champion. Again, he did awesome in his division and beat out everybody else for the points title.
Round the outside with a power move into that straightaway.
That's McNeil. That's the man we're talking about. He had a great season this year out of Hinsdale, Illinois. 5 wins in 9 events, and he raced 3 times here at Road America in his division. So as far as experience here, it's paying off for Cooper McNeil, making the pass on Jason Ott now for 3rd.
Jason Ott's BMW looked like the brakes were just not up to the task. You saw what a big speed difference there was between the two cars at the break point.
This is second place car, Mark Bowden. We can't even see Marty Grant. He's gone.
Yeah, he is long gone.
6.8 second gap now between first and this machine running in the second position. Mark Bowden of Winnetka, Illinois. The Fall Line Motorsports BMW M3. GT2 class winner last year, moving into T2 this season. Through the kink here, that's exactly where Don Knowles, if you watch the cars as they go through the kink here, he dropped the lefts off right where that silver car is, and it spun him around to the inside.
That's a tough corner. It's a blind corner. It's really, really fast, very unforgiving.
And we're a lap and a little bit over a little less than a half a lap away from receiving the 1 to go signal. There is no white flag in road racing. Some are timed events, some are lap events. What they do is, because of the number of signal flags used at the corners and at start finish, they'll just simply tell the racers, and the racers have lap counts as well.
Actually, a white flag is a designation for a slow-moving vehicle in front of you.
So that would be the main difference. They're just going to give the position number 1 to the race leader here, Marty Grant, coming up the front stretch.
No contest there. If he doesn't make a mistake, he's got this one sewn up. But the second place battle is going to be really down to the wire.
And Marty Grant, again, a year ago on lap 10, lost the wheel, lost his chances for a championship. He's 7.9 seconds ahead of Mark Bowden this lap, as he's on his final circuit here at Road America on his quest for a national championship.
And the car looks really well balanced now that it's gotten rid of that bumper cover that was pulling it all over the racetrack before, I'm sure.
And he did put a lap on the number 7 of David Morimoto up the front straightaway here. Just because he has that lead, he's not about to let it go, is he?
No, he's still running as hard as he can run. You get in a rhythm and you just want to just stay going like that. Sometimes it's harder to slow down. It gets you off your pace. Here's your second place drafting duo. I think Mark Bowden's probably going to have that. I don't know if he can. But we saw that out-braking maneuver last lap. We'll watch down here in turn 5.
He had a gap when Knowles spun, but it's closed back in here. Cooper McNeil with the headlights on, moving forward in turn number 5. Cooper McNeil now moving to the inside and making the pass.
Wow, McNeil really gets down in that corner good. I mean, he's made 2 passes in a row there and made it look easy.
Cooper McNeil now up into the second position. Mark Bowden, who had a very strong run, perhaps a bit fading as McNeil is accelerating here in the final circuit in T2.
McNeil, really, excellent braking down there in turn 5. No doubt about it. He's made both of those passes look really easy.
And he's pulling away now a bit on Bowden, so he has a little bit left as far as what he has got for a handling package here.
Dropped the wheel there. That might have upset the car a little bit on the entrance.
Really slinging it in here. That's got to be fun to drive when it's this point in the race. It's the final lap. You know you got a clean pass and a little bit of an advantage.
McNeil with some damage on the nose of the car has had contact with someone today.
That was early on. I saw something hanging off the right front headlight, like you got a rear bumper cover or somebody else and got some glass stuck in the wind in the front.
Little tweaks.
Yep. Yeah, the whole nose looks to be a little bit off. Final circuit. Our race leader going through Canada corner. Marty Grant is going to be running towards the finish line and thinking, man, it's about time. Finishing up this one. This is the run for second. The 76 machine of Cooper McNeil leading Mark Bowden now. And this is the leader in the final few turns at Road America. Make that the final corner. Up the hill for one last time. Marty Grand, in just his 5th SCCA National Championship run, will become a gold medalist here in T2 as he'll cross the line and win our first event on Saturday here at the SCCA Runoffs at Road America. Marty Grand, the victor here, taking the checkers. It is Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution. Very strong run for him. This is the battle in the field as well for position in the final circuits. Cooper McNeil will get second. Mark Bowden will get third.
Pair of BMWs there.
As they come through, that is Marty Grand. After he's gone through the finish line, he gets a chance to take a little bit of a cool-down lap, perhaps even undo the suit just a little bit to get some air in there. On a cool morning, Marty Grand certainly played it cool and played his cards right to win here in T2. Mark Bowden finishes second. Jason Ott in that Beamer had the lead early. He will finish fourth.
There's the 3 BMWs as we speak.
Yep. Take a little lap of their own here after the checkered falls. The cars, again, you can see the corner workers here on the far left of the screen. Lots of dedicated individuals putting forth a great effort and volunteering all week long here to present the Runoffs in the finest fashion, in the most professional way. These are workers that volunteer their time throughout the year and come to, just like the racers, they come together and perform and make sure things are safe here for the competitors. See Jason out there just letting Mark Bowden go. He's just going to kind of cool down in his lap while everybody else is still kind of a bit on the gas.
Now, I think Cooper McNeil really played it smart. I think he just stayed out of the fray early in that race, let these guys really beat up on each other. And you saw Ott's car was getting looser and looser. Noel's car getting looser and looser. Obviously he crashed. And for Cooper, he just saved the car to the end and used it when he needed to.
David Brand will end up in the 6th position. Dr. Jay Patel, who finished in very strong 3rd in the June sprints, will come from 9th up to the 6th position. Finishing in the 7th position would be the 20 machine of Patrick Womack. We saw him briefly during the race itself. He was in a great battle for 8th, 9th, 10th. He got his way up to 7th. Congratulations to him as well. And we'll talk to our podium finishers here with John Bizignano in a few moments. Before we do that, we'll let these guys take their final cool-down lap here and head back to the pits. We'll talk to the principals of the 1, 2, 3 in positions here as the T2 champions have been run, and we'll talk to them in a few moments here with John Bizignano. We'll take a step away, get them on pit road, and we'll hear from our champions in T2. Stay tuned.
The 2010 SCCA National Championship Runoffs, presented by Subway, is brought to you by Mazda, Black Magic Car Care Products, and Gumout.
Forget the rock. Let's roll. Follow your inner driver to the all-new 2011 Mazda 2. It's Zoom Zoom. Concentrated.
Psst, kid, where you been?
Just got back from an SCCA event.
Really?
Yeah, SCCA has more than 2,000 events every year.
Serious?
Go to SCCA.com and find people in your area that drive fast and get their hands dirty. And you don't have to be a supercar to compete.
So I go to SCCA.com, sign up, and I can start competing?
It's that easy.
And welcome back to SpeedcastTV.com's coverage of the Black Magic Touring 2 National Championship race, part of the 2010 SCCA National Championship Runoffs at Road America. We see now the finishers coming up the hill into pit lane. A number of these cars will be pulled off to the side. Some will go to the tech shed, some will be weighed, some will be scaled. And all the top 3 finishers for sure that we'll talk to in a moment, their cars will go through a thorough inspection to meet the guidelines of this division. Many different classes and a lot of inspectors, again, putting their time in to make sure things are always on the up and up in their classes here in SCCA. We see the 4 of Marty Grand. What he thought was last year a chance to pull up be in the first in line has come true a year later for Grand, leading the race last year. Had a mechanical issue preventing him from finishing this event, and look at this. He's pulling in. A lot of people congratulating him, and certainly a well-earned victory for Marty Grand. We'll talk to each of our medal winners, and that is the prize. There's no cash on the line here, but certainly a very excited and a very deserving winner. Marty Grand getting the helmet off here, getting his congratulations again through the window. And boy, when it comes to this, and you get down to the chance to shake hands with all the great people that helped you out, you got to remember a lot of things in a quick hurry. And for our Mobile One winners interview, here is John Bizignano.
Well, Marty is getting the Hoover sign of excellence here. Velcro has to cooperate. Congratulations, a well-thought-out race. First of all, tell us about that damage on the back of your car. What happened there?
Coming into Canada Corner, I totally lost my brakes. So that was an all downshift slowdown. And when I hit third, Jason came up and hit in the back of me. But, you know, it's not his fault. I had no brake lights on, so I had no brakes at all. So,
when you have no brakes, and that was in the beginning of the race, what was wrong?
They were just bleeding down. So after that, every time you probably saw me going down the straights, just tapping my brakes. I just tap, brake.
Then some great competition with the BMW, but once you got by him, you were gone.
Yeah, I knew he was working his tires really hard out there. I could see him getting looser and looser, so I was pretty confident once I got past him I'd be okay.
Congratulations on a great victory, and I'll tell you, a man who drove a very smart race, kept himself out of trouble. First of all, I just want to show you the damage that we're talking about. I can't imagine going into the first corner there with no brakes whatsoever, but Cooper getting a big hug here from one of his crew members. My gosh, Cooper, what a great run. You showed something that most race car drivers have a heck of a time doing, patience from time to time. What a great drive.
Thanks. Yeah, it was awesome. You know, started 8th. We had high expectations for today, and it went pretty well. And climbed up to the front. I had a few checkups there with some other cars, but I couldn't do it without my dad supporting me and let me miss school this week, and of course without the fall line crew. These guys are awesome, and so thanks.
Congratulations, and I think it's okay if you miss school. Just bring the medal with you, and everyone will understand. Third place. Where is good old Mark Bowden? Well, I want to show you about Mark's car here for a second. It is absolutely 100% clean. Mark was driving a race that, again, took an awful lot of patience. Mark, for a long time, you were a spectator in this event. Of course, you were mixing it up pretty good. What happened right here at the very end where you went from second to third just in the last couple of 100 yards?
I was just driving hard, and Cooper was doing a great job, and he got me. He did a great job. He just nailed it.
Well, the car looks
came out of nowhere, and he's been doing a really good job this year, and man.
For all the action you're in, the car looks pretty clean.
It does, yeah. It's not my car, so it better be.
Well, that shows some of the experience.
To me, so yeah, you keep it real nice and tidy.
Congratulations on that bronze medal.
John Snyder for letting me use his car, and thanks to Hoosier for great tires.
Well, you proved them right, buddy.
Thank you.
All right, guys, back to you. 3 very happy drivers down here.
Well, we saw those brake rotors glowing really, really red. There's a first-hand account. Our leader with no brakes down in the corner using the gearbox to slow the car. That's what caused the crash early on. And then from that on, he knew to pump the brakes up down the straightaways to get the pedal pressure up. So he had more going on than we even knew about.
And what we speculated going into one, why his brakes were on that early, that was just to get brakes in the car to slow down in that corner.
Yeah, he was getting the pressure back up. He must have just a small leak somewhere in that system. And to get a win under those conditions, well, good job.
On the button, we mentioned 10-10ths. These guys certainly put on an entertaining race here in T2. This is the lap of honor after the race itself. The winner gets that black and white checkered flag that hopefully they'll hang on to forever and put in that rec room, or maybe if his wife lets him in the living room.
And hopefully he'll remember he doesn't have any brakes when he gets down.
Yeah, I'm sure the passenger will remind him of that as Marty Grant takes his lap of honor here in Touring 2. Finishing second again is Cooper McNeil, a young man who missed out on school this week. Hey, it's all worth it. His teammate Mark Bowden in the Fall Line Motorsports camp came home in the third. Great run by Cooper, capping off his national points championship with a silver medal. Mark Bowden ends up in the third position, and we mentioned Jason Ott in the Beamer had the lead, dropped back to fourth again as his handling went away, and finishing in the fifth position, up from sixth in the starting grid, David Brand in his Lotus. So a good job by him as well. As we'll continue the coverage here of the 2010 SCCA National Championship Runoffs. I'm Jim Trado on behalf of Dorsey Schrader. It's been a great event for T2. Stick around. We've got a lot more racing here on SpeedcastTV.com's coverage of the 2010 National Championship Runoffs here at Road America.